Let me tell you this, what they have done, and listen to this. This is what's so cool about it. The European has collapsed 3 categories of people: perpetrator, collaborator, and victim. In the Holocaust, there are 3 categories of people: perpetrator, collaborators, and victims. Guess who the perpetrator is? Yeah. The white man. Yes, Malcolm said the white man. And Malcolm said, I know some of y'all out there when I say that, think some of them are your friend. He said, but time will tell. See? See? If you got some friends or lovers, you know, hey, keep that out of the discussion right now. Who came and kidnapped and killed and made war and burned cities and towns and destroyed great works of art, of literature? Who did that? I'm sorry. Now, in every culture, there are always collaborators. There are collaborators among the Native Americans, among the Palestinians, among everybody. You can, and certainly among the Jews. Why do you think the Jews never talk about their collaborators? The people who were generals in the Nazi army, the Jews who were or army officers rather, in the Nazi army. Why do you think they don't talk about them? Why do you think they don't talk about the capos in the camp that bargained for each other's son's life? Why do you think they don't talk about the snitches on the corner that identified secular Jews that had no contact with the religious Jewish community? Why do you think they don't talk about that? Because they make a distinction between what? Perpetrator and collaborator. It's no problem for me to say some continental Africans and some Africans, period, collaborated. There's collaborators in every society. There was white men out there selling Native Americans guns, and they just found some Jews selling Palestinians guns. That was good of them. We could get their names. Put them on a plaque in the portrait theater. We must, in fact, I'm almost finished. We must, in fact, be clear about this. Then there was the victims. There's the perpetrator, white man. There's a few Africans that got involved with the white man on his project. And then there were the millions and millions and tens of millions of Africans who died and who were forcibly brought into the diaspora. Those victims should not be charged with collaborating in their own oppression. That is morally repugnant. And whenever any white man or Negro at large, ambassador without portfolio, stands up to defend his or her master, you should tell him that is morally repulsive, and if you really believe that, then tell me about Jewish collaboration. Now. See, that cuts all conversations. Yeah. I told Henry Gates that at a public lecture at L.A. when he came with that little book called The Wonders of Africa. I told Gates, and the mainly was Jewish audience, me and Tim Moyo, a couple of other blacks in the audience, but it was mainly a white audience, Jewish and Gentile, mainly Jewish. And I said, you know, that's morally repugnant. You would not say that about Jews, even though they did collaborate. You make a distinction between collaborator and perpetrator and victim. You can't belittle and degrade the memory of those who died as victims. He said, Maulana, I didn't intend to do that. Would you tell the nationalist community I didn't mean that? I said, I will, Brother Gates, but you yourself must say it also. See, the European put that little Wonders of Africa to actually challenged the nationalist movement, especially the Afrocentric movement. All the subjects they chose were chosen to counteract our arguments. The way they left Egypt out, the way they belittled Nubia and didn't know anything about it. First of all, that had something to do with intellectual incapacity also, but you know. The way they try to bring up the Swahili language. Why that one? Why not the Yoruba language or the Zulu language? They knew we had established that as early as the 60s. Us organizations had put forth Swahili as the major Pan-African language, and that was the language of Africans in this country. All right? They know that, so they chose that, okay? The whole question of enslavement, trying to get Africans on the continent to say, I'm guilty. Guilty of what? You don't even know what happened. A continental African better not come to me and apologize. That's apologizing for the white man. You still collaborating. That's modern collaboration. You need to be adding your voice to the criticism and the accusation against the white man. Right. Not trying to give him an out. Now, remedies for the injury. I want to end with that because I think it's important for us to understand the full force of what reparations is about. I'm going to leave the means of pursuing and achieving the reparation. That has to do with structure, and it takes a long time. But the most important thing is I'm going to skip and say we need a movement. We need a coalition. And at the core of organizing that coalition must be in Cobra people. That's my position. No one has done more or equal work to pursue the reparations question than in Cobra. And I stand here not only as a chair of the organization, us in NACO, but also as a member of NCOBRA. That's how strong we feel about it. Right. We're part of that coalition. We could go off and let's have another group. We're not going to do that. And we believe that if we have come to a point where this gives us an excellent opportunity to unite around a common aim. Now, there are 6 things, real quick, that I think are important in terms of reparation process. And reparation is a process. It's repairing and reconstructing the community through struggle. Y'all see it? Repairing and reconstructing the community through struggle. Now, the first requirement for reparation is a public dialogue, a public discussion around the issues I just raised. The definition of the injury, the responsibility for the injury, the remedies for the injury, and the means of pursuing and achieving reparations for the injury. Okay? A public dialogue also to stop white people from their acute denial of what they have done to us. They need therapy. The public dialogue becomes a therapeutic process in which they can confess, concede, tell the truth for once. Yes, I did it. And if they don't want to take it personal, yes, this country did it. You see? Now, this is very important because the second thing is public admission. Who will admit it? I don't expect each white person to do it, although they must agree with what I'm getting ready to propose. The state must do it. That's right. The state must admit Holocaust. They can't admit slavery. They cannot admit slave trade. They must admit Holocaust. Slavery and slave trade are minor injuries compared to Holocaust. That is why Jews want to monopolize the word Holocaust as if it's Hebrew and something white people have and black people can't have. The Jewish word for Holocaust is Shoah. The Swahili word is Maangamizi. I know some people use Maafa, but that's not exactly strong enough. because it does not deal with intentionality.